Well, I am very, very excited about this interview. I had the opportunity to talk with a young man who's doing amazing things in our industry, in the real estate industry, but in general, quite frankly. And, it's January 2023, and we're all talking about artificial intelligence. And through my dear, dear friend, Saul Klein, whom I've interviewed before, and he's a futurist. He's one of the most amazing people in the United States when it comes to real estate information. But through Saul Klein, I got the opportunity to meet a guy by the name of Bobby Bryant. Bobby Bryant is the founder, CEO of an entity, a company called Ask DOS. And it's an artificial intelligence based system. And I'm not going to explain it very well. I'm going to let him do that. But I got to tell you, this is really exciting stuff. And I am beyond thrilled that I had the opportunity to have a chat with these gentlemen and listen to what Bobby Bryant is doing and his focus and his purpose and all of that stuff. It's really, really fun and exciting things, futuristic things. So I hope you enjoy this interview, and I'll see you very soon. Hey everybody, Ginny Field here. I'm excited today because I have a really unique opportunity to talk to one of my old friends, Saul, whom you can see, but I have a new friend here named Bobby Bryant, and I'm really excited about having the chance to bring some information to all of you and to my industry about technology, AI. Where's the world going right now? I always go back because I'm old. So I always go back to 2001, The Space Odyssey, and think of, hi, Hal. And that's not what it is. But there's a lot going on. And I just really think that this is a great opportunity for all of you, whomever watches, to kind of talk about where things are. My dear friend Saul Klein and I have been friends for decades. He is Real Talk. He's Data Advocate. He's Internet Crusade. He's a futurist. He's a lot of things. He's probably the smartest person I know, and I love having him as my friend. He's here to kind of chat with us. And then a new friend for me is a guy by the name of Bobby Bryant out of Houston, Texas, and he is actively pursuing the issue of AI in real estate. How does that affect real estate? And artificial intelligence is kind of everywhere we look today. There was something on this past weekend's CBS Sunday Morning on artificial intelligence, and so I'm just going to sit back and shut up, frankly. I might throw in a question at you guys every now and then of something of clarity. But Saul, would you kind of introduce yourself a little bit, and then let's just start talking, and then get to Bobby and keep going with this. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
you're not gonna shut up. I've never known that to happen. But so no, I've done a lot of things in the industry. I created a program called ePro, which is a technology certification program for realtors for the National Association of Realtors many years ago. Traveled to over 800 local associations and just know lots and lots of people in the industry. And Jenny, you and I have been talking about the future of the real estate industry. And if we were to look forward 5 years, how would we define the real estate practitioner 5 years from now? How would we define the real estate broker 5 years from now? And what skill sets will be required? What will be the services offered? What are some of the things that a realtor does today that would be replaced by technology? What are some of the things that can't be replaced by technology? And then you and I got into this conversation about AI and Chat GPT, and I thought, the person to talk to is Bobby Bryant, because Bobby's actually working on this. And here you and I are talking about it. Bobby's working on it. So lots of chatter about artificial intelligence, about that being utilized in real estate transactions. And we thought just an open conversation about it would be fun. And so, Bobby, you're doing it. You're looking at it. What are you seeing? That if you look forward in the future, what kind of skills are going to be needed? What would the office of the future look like? What will the brokerage firm of the future look like? Does that kind of cover it, Jenny? That's basically, I think.
Yeah, and the place where my brain went, Bobby, and I want to feed this one to you, is that when you've done what I've done as long as I've done it, which is management most of my career, or coaching or and consulting for real estate companies and agents, you know, are we? I think the thing that concerns me, Saul, and not in a negative way concerns me. I always get concerned when there's unpreparedness. You know, like, oops. I've always been the person that says I'd rather be ahead of the curve than waiting for it to come up behind me and catch me. I'm a doer, not a doey kind of gal, and so. And I really do believe that this is one of those really exciting things that's happening, but who's paying attention? And so that's what I love. Bobby, please introduce yourself very briefly and kind of talk about who you are. I loved your resume. I've stalked you. My daughter calls it stalking. I call it market research. Let's go with that part. But talk a little bit about why are you doing what you're doing? What was the impetus behind it? Where do you see it going for yourself? And how do you, like Saul said, 5 years from now, where do you think we're going to be?
Wow, very, very comprehensive questions. Bobby Bryant here, founder, CEO of DOS. DOS is a intelligent personal assistant designed exclusively for the real estate industry, more domain specific, exclusively domain specific in comparison to like when you think of an Amazon Alexa or a Google Assistant, and we wanted to create this marketplace, this tool that was so dynamic that unlike anything we've ever seen before, we could take this technology and literally stitch everything together. We've done a lot of research, my team and I, and it was like, okay, you look at all the different technology out there, and the word AI is such a broad word. Like, the average person doesn't really understand when you just generically say AI, and that artificial intelligence in a lot of instances is just now becoming.
Yep.
You just made a great point, and that is you're talking personal assistant.
I love that.
Personal assistant. That point, that to me, that's a marker. And then personal assistant, is it client specific? So will this personal assistant learn nuance about clients to be able to help a real estate agent handle more clients?
Yes,
because it can, machine learning aspects, so it can learn about. Is that kind of where we're going?
And that's exactly what we wanted, to where it actually served both the consumer. See, the real estate industry has just been historically focused purely on serving the agent. I serve the agent serves the consumer. We were like, has anybody ever paid attention to the Ubers of the world, the Amazons of the world, the Airbnbs of the world, and realized that a real estate industry that has told us historically that you can't serve more than one master, but the new technologies of the world have figured out how to serve both the consumer and the practitioner, the driver and the rider, the Airbnb, the host, and the person that's going to stay in it. Amazon, the person that's the seller and the consumer that's buying, and have a marketplace that sits up here that is so dynamic that it figures out how to serve both and make both happy and bring them together in a way that the industries have never done before. And we were questioning that. Why haven't anybody done that in real estate? Why can't we masterfully serve both? Why do we just have to be agent-centric? And DOS is set out to create this consumer and agent-centric solution that brings everybody together beautifully and creates a next era experience, right? That does a few things, deals with cost, efficiency, search, a task engine, a recommendation engine. Or search engine needs to be more than just search.
Well, so am I dreaming here, or does this kind of make sense? Where I have a meeting with my true virtual digital assistant in the morning, and my true virtual digital assistant says, okay, Saul, we got 5 clients today, and Bobby's my first client. And here's, you got to do this with Bobby, you got to do this with him, and you got to do it. Now, here, your second client is Jenny, and here's what you've got to complete with. And don't worry, I'll remind you throughout the day. Is it that going to be that comprehensive?
It is. It will become that comprehensive. And here's the beautiful thing about what you just teed up, Saul, is a lot of people, when they hear AI, they think it's an instrument to replace them. No, it's an instrument to enhance you. Even when I talk to a lot of investors in prop tech, I'm gonna tell you, even a lot of prop tech investors don't necessarily even understand the future of real estate, right? Because everybody wants to see the realtor go away. No, if you really want to transcend and evolve things, you have to turn around and figure out not how to replace humans, how to make humans connect better and be more efficient. That's what we're doing. It's too radical to try to, oh my gosh, we're just going to go get rid of realtors and a consumer's just going to walk into a house. That's not going to happen. The average home was built in 72, 73. I'm a bit of a nerd and I know all the data, right? And so the average house in America is 50 years old. It's not smart. And people can't just go and do that. Matter of fact, would you even want that? Would you want somebody walking in your house alone? So there are several problems that the technology that we're building, we're saying, what problems make sense to solve? What are our the biggest inefficiencies of realtors? How can we give them time back and allow them to focus on the things that matter most, which is connecting, relationships, and serving?
So what is it
So I got to jump in here. You're just preaching, baby. Because when you manage real estate agents, as long as I've managed real estate agents, and if I look at my career and I can share with you, I've written courses on managing time more than, and I've talked about it more than I can tell you. And the choices of time management, if you're talking about efficiency, especially for the folks that I don't want to have an assistant because I'm just going to want to control it all anyway. This could be magical. This could be the answer for that agent who doesn't have a skill set in managing time and all. Like, I am a big fan of Alexa. I hope she doesn't talk to me right now. I've got 4 of her in my house. And that I have I got all my technology stuff. Well, how cool would it be if I just like, who's on my agenda today, and have a conversation? That is amazing.
So now you can handle 10 clients instead of 5 clients, 100 clients instead of 50. Now you can bring balance to your life, right? Because we talk about it, but now we're talking about tools, not that replace you, but that make you more confident.
Exactly. Exactly. And the good news is we're hopefully here within 3 weeks because we have partnered with, of course, both Google and Amazon. DOS will actually be in Amazon here within 3 weeks.
Did you hear that, Alexa? Wow, I am excited. That's awesome.
So that's some clarity, and that's what we were looking for, Jenny. We were looking for some clarity around, and you're right, Bobby. People say AI, artificial intelligence, or ML, or machine learning. What does it mean? And to have something that learns about my clients, and nobody's going to know more about my clients overall, at least at this point, than me, because of the nuance of the interactions that I'm going to have with them. But boy, if I had some technology that picked up all the breadcrumbs around me, that would let me handle more clients more effectively, more efficiently.
And Saul, I have to tell you, those breadcrumbs are huge. And let me tell you the reason why is because the way the human functions, and we've had to study this over the years. You got to keep in mind, we've worked with the top 3 intelligent assistants on the planet. That's IBM Watson, Google Assistant, and Amazon Alexa. We've worked with all of their engineers and developers. So we've had the opportunity to talk with them, learn, and we didn't have billions of dollars. So we had to be very methodical, slow, and intentional and strategic in our approach, right? But what people don't realize is the story in their clicks. And that's what a realtor or practitioner doesn't have access to. So when you're clicking everything, imagine you're just clicking as a consumer that's searching for houses. And then all of a sudden, being that you're working closely with a realtor, and it keeps that realtor engaged, and it says, hey, Saul, This is Doss. I want to let you know that Jenny is looking at houses between $600,000 and $700,000. We noticed that most of them are 4 bedrooms and that are zoned to Roberts Elementary School, and that she's looking for these features. And I'm assuming that she may have kids because that she's in an area that has good schools. See, the thing is our clicks tell stories.
Yes, they
And
do.
that's what the realtor does not have access to. But if they engage and not afraid of the technology, they don't realize that, that they can have this insight, which means that increases their what? Their conversion ratio of their leads, which means that they can close more deals, which means that they'll make more money.
Well, it could also build trust. Now, one of the things I did from 2008 to 2012 was I was the CEO of a company in Canada called Point Two Technologies, and we created websites for real estate agents. And one of the features that we had in our website was we tracked all that activity. As a matter of fact, we tracked the activity just when someone would go to the agent's site, and if they identified themselves later, we would backfill, and we would know what price range they were looking at, what type of properties they were, what features they were looking at, how much, and then we had a mortgage calculator, so we would know things. And the agent who paid attention to that data, they knew that the consumer was looking for a property with a big kitchen, or they weren't looking at properties with swimming pools, or they told you that they had $100,000 to put down, but in the mortgage calculator they were putting in $250,000. And so all of this information could come back to you. The problem was agents didn't go and use that tool.
They ignored it. That's
They ignored
exactly,
it.
Well,
right. But you see, I got to tell you something, Bobby. What makes me so excited is what I just said, because there are certain companies and entities that I've worked with as a coach when I'm guiding a client who's an agent, that you have to do these follow-ups. You have reminders. But if you're telling me that Doss has the ability to say, and I, of course, would love to have it speak to me in New Yorkese, but I'm not sure that that's possible. But, Doss says, hey, Ginny, you need to follow up with this person, or this is what's going on in your farm area. And it's going to be a reach out to me. Now, I will admit to you, it annoys me a lot when Alexa asks me if I want to buy more stuff or blah, blah, blah. But no, I know. Thank you for that. But that's a thing. And that's a thing for that agent, because if there's a spoken word coming from the system that says, hey, Ginny, you've got an opportunity here. Of course, I would love to add I used to want to make my own alarms, voice recordings. And I can't tell you what it would say, but you can probably figure it out. But it would be this thing where it says, Ginny, you got to call this guy right away, because there's an opportunity here. Don't miss it. That's so freaking cool. And wow, can that help a lot of people that I know who are incredibly equipped to ignore the pop-up reminder they get on their computer, which is what you were just talking about, Saul.
Yeah. And so, Bobby, how far down the line are you on this? So, because we're talking about these things that really make a lot of sense, really would make managing your activities a lot better, a lot easier, a lot more efficient. And is that really what you're creating at Doss?
So let me say this, and I don't say this loosely, and my team is very excited.
Well, I'm excited too. I can't wait.
I unequivocally believe that we could be able to confidently say we have the best search engine on the planet by the time we get to the end of the summer of this year.
Wow.
And the reality of it is, how do we better centralize, democratize, and humanize big data in the real estate industry that goes above and beyond the classic white label search filters of price, estimate, bedroom count, square footage, lot size, in the schools that are local to you? And then, oh, by the way, I recommend these properties because they're similar to what you're searching. How do we go above and beyond that? And what we've done is we've went out there and literally have scrubbed and scraped data providers to find all the unique data that exists that a consumer wants to know, like a quiet street, using image recognition to say vaulted ceilings, because that's what I want. I'm looking for high ceilings. I want white kitchen cabinets, not brown. I want brown, not white. I want gray. How do we give and empower people to be able to search and be able to get all their answers instead of the basic little click boxes that exist right now with the boxes in rectangular, how do we go above and beyond the box? Because what ends up happening, these basic search filters, they'll find a property and it says 400, 30, 50, whatever results. And the reality of it is that's not what they're looking for because the search doesn't go deep enough. And then let me say this last part, and I digress on this point. And then what about the description?
Right.
The thing is when you use an intelligent assistant, it could read the description and actually not only read the pictures, but the description that the realtors give. And so if you give a very unique and comprehensive description, and what if you describe all 30 pictures of the property? DOS will not only scrub the pictures and tag and read the tags, but it'll also read the context and help people deep dive into a search to be more efficient and save time.
Wow.
Think about this, telling you things that you don't even know you're interested in.
About yourself. You're
About
exactly
yourself, because if you've looked at 10,000 pictures or 10,000, you don't even know, but then DOS comes back to you and says, you know, you said you were interested in this, but based on your activities,
There you go.
might be interested in this. And so if that's true, we're going to line up other things for you to see that you never would have thought of.
That's exciting.
Exactly.
That's exciting.
Exactly. And so even going a step further, we even, have a patent pending, on signage. You start talking about some of the other issues. We created and got a trademark protection and patent pending, both on a for sale sign that looks like a map pin, because real estate is location, and that's what a map pin represents. And we put a big old QR code in the middle of it. And so when you put a mobile device and you scan that QR code, it geocodes your location just like you're in an Uber app, and it knows exactly you're standing in front of 1234 Main Street, and it starts to say, hey, this house is $300,000. It's 2,000 square feet. It sits on a 4,000 square foot lot. It's 4 bedroom, 2 bath. Do you want to see it? Yes.
So what we're talking about, and I think
Wow.
we're talking about create AI, for lack of a better term, creating a bridge between the consumer and the service provider to make more efficient, to make sure the consumer gets what they want, right? That's what it is. It's providing this bridge, and it's being done through what we'll now refer to as artificial intelligence or machine learning. It gets smarter with every action, and that seems to be the direction that at least you believe, and we think makes a lot of sense, that the industry is moving.
Well, let me say this, Saul. This is the real estate industry right here, and I want you to think of two awesome parents who had an awesome upbringing, and they have kids, and they provide them everything. And I mean everything, the life, the attention, the education. And guess what? The kid goes out here and just free will does what they want to do. What I'm trying to say with that example, without being too explicit, is a brokerage can provide a realtor everything that they need. It doesn't mean that agent or their brokerage is going to be successful.
Absolutely not.
Right. And this is what an Uber driver never has to worry about: marketing.
Mm-hmm.
The technology says, go here, pick them up there, and drop them off here, and call them Bobby. We're almost at 1234 Main Street to drop Bobby off. Am I the only one that says my name, right, when I ride Uber? And what I'm trying to say is that the broker of the future is no longer enough to just be agent.
But they haven't.
It doesn't matter how awesome you are. It doesn't matter how the technology. Everybody got KV Core. Everybody got the same stuff. What's really making you more dynamic and different? And kudos to KV Core. Let me say that. Mm-hmm. But the reality of it is that if a brokerage wants to be different moving forward, they have to create their own proprietary technology. They have to figure out, what do they believe, in the words of Simon Sinek, and start attracting agents that believe what they believe based on how they believe in solving the problems, for their brokerage in the communities that they serve. And that's what DOS decided to do. I was one of the 74 experts that Stefan Swanepoel via the Danger Report interviewed. That Bible is what we built DOS based on. Beautiful data. And we started there. We started there and we built and we decided what problems do we believe we want to solve that are impactful. Their issue with technology and real estate is, oh my gosh, we're going to solve home open houses. That's not the problem with real estate, right? Are we really going to focus on disrupting open houses? That's a splinter of a problem. The real estate industry has, fundamental, antiquated, foundational problems that has nothing to do with a dang open house. Like, how can we really solve problems that's going to push the industry forward for the largest purchasers of homes, which are 36-year-old millennials, and a Gen Z who's now 24 when I bought my first house at 23. We got two huge generations that function different. They think different. They're the most educated, diverse ever in the history of mankind. We got to start thinking for these generations. I got gray hair on my face. I'm a Gen Xer. Those ahead of me are baby boomers. You know what? We need to create for these guys, not for ourselves.
But I'm going to take that one step further, Bobby. I'm going to say that what we're talking about, it doesn't matter your generation. What we're talking about is more efficiency. And in this case, the consumer gets more of what they need, and the service provider gets more of what they need, regardless of what generation, because the technology is going to learn what they need.
That's absolutely
right.
All my years in brokerage, it was I recognize, and Saul knows this, I was not your typical broker in that I was very specific about who I hired. I had very specific expectations of them, or they didn't get to stay. They I jokingly say I would sometimes pre-fire them. You've got to do this and this and this. I'm an independent contractor. Good. But if you want to be successful and work here, I need you to kind of help me out, because I can help you if you help me. But if they didn't get to stay. And I'm actually in the process, I said to Saul, of doing a new agent series on what does success mean. But some of what you just described is, frankly, somewhat keeps me in business in terms of my consulting business, is teaching people how to run a real estate brokerage. But there has to be bravery involved. And then teaching an agent how to be successful, they have to have decisions made. But the efficiencies that you're describing are mind-blowing to me and so exciting. But then there's that part of me, and you're absolutely right. There's that, that part of me that says I don't know how many dinosaurs there are versus something else, teaching the dinosaur how to no longer be a dinosaur.
But I don't think it matters. I think this eliminates this whole concept of dinosaur.
I agree. Well, I'm probably always going to be a dinosaur, but that's
no.
But it's exciting. I'm really excited about the fact that it's relatively close. I want to, I want us to, I'm excited to get this edited and posted real quick. So that's another excitement I have. Any kind of final thoughts? I'm excited about what you're doing. Bobby, I very much want to set another time for you and I to chat and do a separate interview on some of the other things that you're doing, if you're open to that, and bring that to whatever audience I currently have as it grows. Saul, do you have anything else that you want to share or talk about briefly?
No, I think that we basically covered it. Our intention was to talk about the skill sets, the technologies, what's required so that agents and brokers can start to think about the things they're going to need to do to be successful in the future. And I think we got that, Jenny.
Yeah, I do want to add a part, Jenny, and that because you guys brought it up and Saul brought it up, and it's a buzzword right now, and that's GTP3. Right. And I do want to say, as we turn around and we think about, editing this in, and I'll give it 5 seconds. My team at DOS, we talk about GTP3, and it's a beautiful technology. We also think about our responsibility to the real estate industry. So at times we're a little bit conflicted, right? I think that when we look at what we've been working on, since 2015, and being very, again, methodical in our approach and design, and wanting to create an industry high standard solution, right? We don't want to create a technology that's at the level of Alabama at the peak of California and Texas. We want to take an industry top best interest for the consumer approach.
Mhm.
And GP3 T3 is a beautiful solution. Our concerns, just like if you watch a lot of the threads, is just today, it's not as accurate ballistically as we would like.
Mhm.
And again, being that we at DOS want to function at a very effective and efficient high level, we're trying to find ways of in what instances do we use DOS to respond versus GTP3? Because you cannot be solely using GTP3 at this point. I think it's well on its way, whether that's, at the rapid pace it's evolving on itself. Is that 6 months? Is that 12 months? Is that 24, 36? Right? But it's not, even if you ask it, it's not commercially approved yet, right? And so when you start talking about companies like DOS, or I gotta even believe, even if it's a Zillow or a Redfin or at that level, we all have a responsibility to the industry
Absolutely.
to be as accurate as possible. And so therefore, we have that responsibility of saying, do we believe it's ready? And if it's not, how do we blend that or not use it until it's ready? And let's just move forward with our development. But it's a beautiful solution, the open AI. But we want to be very accurate and effective and efficient with DOS. And therefore, we want to be patient and continue to watch it. Maybe take a hybrid approach with it. We'll figure it out as time goes on.
Hey,
But
Bobby, so I think people need to know what we're talking about, and that's Chat GPT. They should
Yeah.
look it up
Yes.
and read about it. But I tell you, I went on today and I asked this question to it. I said, will AI be used in real estate purchases? So I asked it.
Mhm.
And I'm going to give you the last part of the answer. It gives all the ways it can. And then it says, however, it's worth noting that AI is not yet capable of replacing human agents completely, and that the use of AI in real estate is still in the early stages.
It is. It is. And I have to Saul, to that point, we've had so many people ask us, why is it taking DOS so long? What's going on at DOS? Guys, we're in a pursuit of doing two primary things. I don't really like the word disruption. I think it's overhyped. But our objective is to evolve two things: the consumer behavior and also the agent behavior. I mean, that takes time, right? And we have to, now we have, going back to Gen Z, the very first generation in history ever born after the internet was founded. Think about
Natives.
that for a second. Think about that. The very first generation ever born after the internet was founded. And so, with that being said, we're starting to venture into generations that are more equipped, literally almost day one out of their mother's womb, with technology.
that's right. That's right.
Well,
That's
And so these kids are way more equipped than we are. They think different. Their brains are developing faster than ours ever did.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I would say that there's generational confidence in the technology that didn't exist before.
I
It,
agree. I
it
agree.
is.
I do want to say very briefly, I don't know if you watch CBS Sunday Morning. I've been watching it since its beginning, and there was a small snippet this past Sunday on ChatGPT. And I was an English major in college. I'm a writer. I saw that you are a writer. That's
Yes,
my
ma'am.
thing. And you should have heard what was being said, that there were teachers and educators and people that were involved in education at a higher level at Harvard saying, what's terrifying is that you can have a kid in school today who could just say,
Right,
write
paper.
me a 500-word essay on the Revolutionary War and blah, 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 and who's really doing the work. And the other thing that was said that I found fascinating, and this guy's great. I really like this particular interview. You should look it up if you haven't seen it. But he talked about how it said that Hillary Clinton was the 45th president of the United States. So there's still the error piece. But what I'm seeing in that area versus what you're doing, although the foundation may be the same, the purpose and the goals and the structure and the outcome is very different. And that's what's exciting for me personally. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait. I'm that
Yeah.
person. If I can find you and call you, you know, I'm a technology kind of gal.
There you go. No, definitely. Please do. Yeah, we wanted to be more in control of ensuring that the consumer that's patronizing DOS is
Mhm.
getting an accurate answer, right? And if they don't, we wanted to be responsible enough to ask the consumer, would you like for us to put you in contact with a human?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Love that. So that's exactly the kind of stuff I want to chat with you about. So hopefully very soon, I'd like to keep this momentum going because this has just been amazing and fabulous. And I think, Saul, don't you agree? This kind of, we both had our dinosaur kind of questions and you've resolved them and given us some, very, very excited about what you had to share. It has been my absolute delight to meet you. Uh,
Likewise.
I am familiar with Houston and I saw you were raining. We don't get much rain in California, but just excited to meet you and looking forward to talking with you again.
Right.
My deep, deep gratitude to you. And of course, my friend Saul, I don't know that there's ever a time that I don't just love seeing your face on my computer. Just one of my favorite things. I do
Well,
like
likewise.
I do like your clean shaven face better than the bearded face. Find me on YouTube. He could have played Santa Claus. He truly could have, except he's too thin, you know. So you can find that on my YouTube channel. But Bobby, I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. And I will be in touch very, very soon. And I'm just so grateful to all of us to have this conversation today. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jenny and Saul.
Take care.
Wasn't that amazing? What'd you learn? I personally can't wait to participate in what this company is doing. Having been in leadership, and I talked about this in the interview, having been in leadership for most of my career, can you imagine when you're the leader of an organization and a artificial intelligence system reaches out to your agent and reminds them to make a call um, or says, hey, according to what we're seeing, there's Bear, say hi to Bear. According to what we're seeing, this group of people or these people may be interested in doing something in terms of selling or buying. I mean, are you kidding? Well, back in the day when I started, we didn't even have computers, guys. So can you imagine what my brain is doing? Like exploding head emoji stuff. But it's exciting and so relevant and so timely and so purposeful, I think, right now more than ever before. So I personally hope you enjoyed what you heard. I will be doing more with Bobby Bryant. I've actually asked him for another interview because I want to dig a little deeper on some of the things we talked about. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned things. You will see contact information for you to reach out to Bobby Bryant and or the company in general to get more information. But man, this was a fun interview. I can't wait to see you again very soon at the next interview. See you soon.